Hi, my name is Ben. You're watching Image Talk. This video is meant for English beginners. Today, I'll be talking about 5 images. If you need, there are subtitles available, or the entire transcript is on benslanguagelab.com. If you like this kind of video, make sure you subscribe for more of them. For now, all you need to do is watch, listen, and enjoy. Let's start with this first image here. We have an image of a robot, of some kind of robot playing the guitar. The robot is playing the guitar in a very interesting image. The image is really intriguing. It makes me think. It's interesting. There's lots of details. Details are these little small things that are happening, right? So there's tons of detail here. There's stuff in the background. We can see plenty of little just things around. There's details here on the window, right? There's all these lines. These are all details that are in this picture. And there's lots of interesting details that I can see. We can see so many different parts of the robot. The robot's insides, right? There's different colors. Here's a joint, right? A joint is where your limbs sort of move, right? There's a joint there. Or your fingers have joints, right? These are individual joints that I have. And then we see the robot is playing the guitar. Its hand is here positioned on the guitar. And its other hand is strumming the guitar. When you go across the strings like that, that's strumming. And we can even see that there's the correct number of strings, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 strings. A normal, standard 6-string guitar. We also see that the robot is sitting on a chair. This chair is what the robot is sitting on. In the background, we also see a little table. This table here also looks sort of robot-like. It's got sort of metallic materials, right? So this is metal and this is metal. This is wood. This is carpet, so it's probably some kind of cloth. And so there's lots of metal parts to the entire image. We also see this frame. This is the frame around it, which goes around the entire image. That's called a frame. And like I said, it's very detailed and intricate with small parts and pieces. The robot is even coming out of the frame a little bit to give the image more depth. Depth is when something kind of looks like it goes in, right? So our eyes, we can see depth, right? I can tell that this is here, and then there's something else here, right? I get closer and closer to the image, right? In this case, the camera. And this image, which is flat, there's nothing actually coming out, but it looks a little more like there's depth because of things like this and shadows, right? This is a shadow being cast. When you cover up the light and there's movement on your face, you can see the shadows moving on my body. Those are shadows, right here. Anyways, I think that's enough of this image for right now. Let's go on to the next image. So here we have a cute little image of a child that is holding a little umbrella, right? So here's the child, here's the kid, and they're holding an umbrella. This is the umbrella. Umbrellas protect us from the rain. And so the kid is standing in what looks to be a field or a meadow, right? Because we see that there's grass and flowers, right? Those are flowers and grass, and it's raining, right? We've talked about rain before in other episodes. Make sure you go watch the past episodes as well. And we see the rain is kind of falling down onto the umbrella. Here we have little beads of water or droplets of water, right? So a drop is, that's a terrible drop. A drop kind of looks like this, a water drop, or a beadlet, or there's a bunch of different words, but a drop of water or a raindrop. And so we see little raindrops on the umbrella, some on the plants. We also can see that the image or the child is in the style of a toy. The child isn't real. It's not a real human. It looks like it's made of plastic because we can see just how the body looks. The hand is very simple, right? There's no fingers, right? The child doesn't have any fingers. Their hand sort of just looks like this. There's no fingers that the child has. There's just a small little bump right there to show that they're grabbing something. And then we see that they have a very small smile and their hair is in big pieces, right? So there's not even like individual hairs like humans have. I have thousands of hairs on my head, but this child doesn't have any hair. It's just plastic. And so they have to use thicker pieces of plastic. So we get sort of 1, 2, 3, 4, we get a bunch of different pieces of plastic as the hair. But then the rest of the image looks more real. This looks more like real ground or real grass. The rain looks real. And so it's this interesting mix of something that is obviously fake or a toy, and then combining it with the real life a little bit more. And so it looks like a picture, like it was taken, it was the little toy was put somewhere and then somebody took a picture of it. We also talked about this word last time, but the background is very blurry. It's really hard to see the background. We can only really see the child. Everything in the back is just green, right? We just get sort of the green color of the background, right? All this green back there, because we can't see any details. We can only see the background. Other things about the child we can notice is that they're wearing some boots, some cute little boots. We see that there are some laces, and the bottom of the boots are brown, and the top sort of this part here is blue. They're also wearing some jean shorts, and they have a backpack on. I wonder what's in their backpack. Probably something very interesting. But I think that is all we're going to talk about on this image, but I really like it. It makes me happy, I guess. It's an interesting image because it's so simple just to see the little toy child standing in the rain. But let's move on to the next image here. And this looks like an image of a man in two versions. He's got the first version, and over here is the second version, and it's split down the middle, right? So we've split the version right down the middle, or the image, not the version. We've split the image down the middle to show this man in two different states. He's in his normal, regular person state here, and then on this side, he's in his, looks like a Roman warrior, right? So if I cover up this side, it looks like he's all warrior, and if I cover up this side, which I'm going to be in the way, it looks like it's just him. Oops. But obviously, like, yeah, you get it. There's two sides to the image. In this side, he is wearing a black t-shirt, right? This is a t-shirt that I'm wearing as well. He's wearing a simple black t-shirt and has a very stern expression. His expression is very, maybe not stern, but a little more stoic. He doesn't have much emotion. He's just staring into the camera, looking right at you and me. On this side, he's wearing armor. He's wearing a suit of armor. And his armor has a helmet. He has shoulder pads. He has a chest plate. And he even, we can see a bit here, he has bracers. Bracers go on your forearm here. The chest plate goes on your chest. Shoulder pads are on your shoulder. And then the helmet goes onto your head. And so that altogether is what we call a suit of armor. We can even see that the armor is fairly detailed. Again, there's lots of details in the armor. We can see little, what are little points where it's connected the metal together. I believe those are called rivets, if I'm not mistaken. Rivets. Is it an E? Might be an I. I'm not sure. I'm not a very good speller. But we have they're like little nails, essentially, to pound into the metal, right? So we have here, and then you go poof, 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 and then it kind of becomes a little spot on here, which connects two pieces of metal together, because you want them to be one piece of metal instead of just falling apart. And so we see that he has his shoulder pads here, and we see there's different layers, right? So we have 1 layer, 2 layers, 3 layers, 4, 5, 6, to get a bunch of sort of layers of metal on top of each other to protect him more. Down here we can see a little bit more. Oh, it looks like he has something else on his side. I didn't see this at first, but it looks like he has maybe a whip of some kind or a sword. A sword is one of these things, right? That's my beautiful sword. Where you shing, right? That's a sword. But it might also be a whip, which I thought of because of the handle, which is a whip has this part, and then it has this part out here, which you might curl up, and then you go, whoosh, whoosh, right? That's a whip. I don't actually know what it is, though. I can't really tell, but it's got a small little piece here and a much larger handle of some kind, but I don't know. I'm not really sure. On his normal side, it's a little bit less clear. He doesn't have much. All we can see is that he's wearing some kind of pants that I can't really make out, but he's a lot more normal on this side. But I think it's time to move on from this image since there's not a whole lot going on. It's pretty simple. This next image is really interesting. This is what it might look like on a very distant planet of some kind. Far, far away in the future. This is very sci-fi. Sci-fi stands for science fiction, and it talks about usually a future where there's a lot more technology and people have become a lot more advanced. And so this is an astronaut who is on another planet. Is this Earth? I can't spell. Earth. Earth. I'm on Earth. I am here on Earth. You're on Earth. Unless you're watching this video far in the future from not Earth, but you're probably on Earth with me. But he is not on Earth. He's on a different planet. We also see a giant rock or asteroid or moon of some kind. It looks huge because he's pretty small, right? He's standing here. Then this thing looks to be massive, right? Really, really tall. It looks like maybe people would be in here and like be this big, maybe, right? That's a person. It's the smallest person I can draw. And then this would be just, whoa, so much bigger. We see that this giant rock thing has a crater, or actually has several craters in it. So there's sort of like holes. We use the word crater to talk about a hole that is usually pretty large and not really much more than just like this empty space, right? So if something fell, boom, it would make a big crater. And so maybe at some point, millions of years ago, there was a rock that smashed right into this and left this hole. It left this crater behind. This, we don't know what it is, but if I had to make a guess, I would guess that it's some kind of mining facility they're taking out materials from here. So they're going into here and they're taking pieces. They take a piece out and they bring it back into here and they do something with that piece. And so that's what we call sort of mining or processing of materials. Because humans, us, we like things. We like to make things. We have products and various objects that are made of stuff. Metal, stone, usually metal or precious metals like gold or iron, coal. All of these things are useful to us. And so we extract them from things. And so this might be extracting material out of this giant rock of whatever it is. We don't know what this guy is doing here, but it looks like he is watching what's going on here and maybe thinking about something, wondering about the world of some kind or where he is. But that's this image. I find it very interesting to think about science fiction worlds that don't exist sometimes. But let's go on to the last image here, and this is maybe my favorite image because it combines something that we all have thought about or seen, and it makes it look real. Because we're in a restaurant, right? This is a restaurant. We can see tables. There's some sort of covering here. There's some stuff on the tables. There's chairs, a bunch of chairs around. And so it looks like a normal restaurant, but we're underwater. We're under the water and we can see these huge sea creatures that are just beautiful. We can see what looks to be a whale, some kind of dolphin, and a bunch of fish, right? So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We can see so many different fish all around. The fish are swimming and they look really colorful, right? This one is sort of blue and black. This one has a couple other colors like yellow and maybe green-ish. And we can see somebody is down there and it looks like she's looking up at the sea creatures, right? All of these together are sea creatures. And that would be so cool. Oh, this looks like it might be a shark of some kind. Some sort of shark. Doo-doo. Doo-doo. Right, a shark. But you can, in this fictional image, it's not real, but in this fictional restaurant, you can sit at your table in the sand underwater, eat food, and see these enormous sea creatures around you. There's also plenty of rocks around and vegetation or plants, right? There's all of these plants and things under the water to make the experience even more interesting and surreal. That's a good word. Let's talk about the word surreal really quick. Surreal means something that feels not real, but in a different way than you might think. Because we also have the word fake. Fake is when something is obviously not real, right? So this image isn't really fake because it's not trying to be real. It's just an image. Something that's fake is if you buy, for example, a product that is not real, or like it's not a real product, right? These are real AirPods, but you can buy fake ones that are really cheap, but they're not the same. Surreal, however, is when something feels like it could be real, but it's almost like a dream. It's like this weird mix of something that's in your mind, but it also feels like it's happening. And so this image, because it looks like it could be real, it looks natural enough, but it's obviously not. It's not real. It is fake. And so we get this sort of surreal feeling where it's like, wow, that looks so cool. It could be real, but it's just a dream in our minds. Anyway, that's where I'm going to end this episode of Image Talk. Today we talked about 5 different interesting images. We talked about a robot playing the guitar, a little child toy out in the rain. We talked about a man who was wearing armor and also normal. And we talked about a fictional science fiction planet. And then we ended with this interesting restaurant with sea creatures all around. But that's been this episode of Image Talk. I hope that you enjoyed this video and maybe learned a couple of new words. Remember, all the transcripts are available on benslanguagelab.com if you need. But I'll see you again in the next video. Bye-bye!